Welcome to stage 9 of the Giro d'Italia, the second straight day in the mountains and the first real mountaintop finish. We're going up to Sestola today. It's a very long climb. The average gradient is not quite as severe as some of the mountains we'll see later in the race, but the section in the middle of the climb is very hard, and of course it is very, very long. So our race leader here, Josephine Udebaya, who's not known as a great climber, will definitely be challenged to try and defend that lead today. And I have to say the odds are probably stacked against her because she spent all day in the breakaway yesterday, and it takes some time to recover after an effort like that. But if she's on her best form and the climbers wait to launch their attacks until the end of the climb, she could have a chance. She does lead by 2 minutes over the rest of the pack. And in the meantime, a flat tire here for Ugo Zorzi, who's up in the breakaway. We do have a breakaway of 8 riders, might be 7 now because I don't think Ugo Zorzi's going to get back there. But those riders in the early break were Rodolfo Lucci, Ugo Zorzi, Guillermo Quesada, Diana Stephenson, Dimitris Jonas, Adrian Bernard, Jemal Safari, and Elijah Johnson. In the first category 3 climb early in the stage, in fact they went over it pretty recently, that was won by Elijah Johnson of the Castelli team, so he's not giving up in the chase for the Mountains classification jersey, but it's going to take a lot to get that off the shoulders of Josephine Udebaya. She leads the competition, but the jersey being worn on loan by Diana Stephenson, who's here in this group. She's in second place in that competition. So we've just about caught up on the race situation here, and Rodolfo Lucci leading the breakaway up this climb. Around a 6 minutes lead for this breakaway over the peloton, with over 25 Ks to go, but there's a big mountain between these guys and the finish. I think it might be close between them and the peloton for winning the stage, and it really depends on how the peloton chooses to attack that final climb. I think the climbers in the peloton are going to be interested in winning that stage today. They missed out yesterday, waited too long to chase. Udebaya a bit too strong for everyone. But here's the sprint at the top of this climb. The Roquetta Sandri. And Stephanson's going to lead the way, and I don't think anyone's going to take those points from her. So she will take some points back on Josephine Udebaya, move a little bit closer to first place. And Lucci wants to keep things going over the top of this climb. He knows they need a big advantage over the peloton at the bottom of Sestola. So he is not going to wait for anyone. Still a lot of riders in that main field. A lot of firepower. I think we're going to see them go up that final climb very, very fast. Seems that 5 riders have survived here. I think that's Lucci, Bernard, Zionis, Safari, and Stephenson. So the rest have been dropped. I don't think they'll come back. So 5 survivors will start the final climb. Of course, it finishes at Sestola, but the mountain itself is called the Passo del Lupo. I'm just about to turn right onto it here. 17 kilometers long, averaging 5.5%. The true average a little bit higher than that because there's a small descent in the middle, and there's a very steep section right after that little downhill. So the climbing is quite hard. And the peloton has really accelerated here. In fact, there's a bit of a split. If we can get back to them here, there's the Castelli survivors. Here it is, Verhova is leading the Kyoto train at the bottom of the climb. Kyoto not really at the front of the race yesterday, and 2 of their leaders lost time, Ibai Laida and Egon Kallas losing about 45 seconds, but Tutan is very much in the mix. In fact, he's in second place overall, I believe, 1 minute 56 seconds behind Josephine Udebaya. So if Udebaya cracks, Tutan could be the new leader. And attacks have already started in the breakaway group. Rodolfo Lucci, of course, he's the one doing the attacking, and he has dropped 2 of his breakaway companions. So Bernard and Zionis, the last survivors, able to hang on his wheel. And I think it's just the Rodolfo Lucci show now because he's left them behind. And he will make a solo bid for the summit. Well, it doesn't do him any good to have dead weight on his wheel, so Lucci will try and do what Udebaya did yesterday and finish ahead of the peloton on top of a mountain. And Natalia have won 2 stages in the last 4 days, and they'll try and make it 3 in the last 5 if Lucci can survive. As you see the rest of the breakaway riders there, the peloton starting to get angry. This is Yevgeny Balashkov, who's a protected rider for AlphaTauri, but this indicates that Luis Sancho is going to be the leader for today, and maybe the team leader going forward. If he's already working at the front like that, here's Samuel Uda of Valnor. So the first section of the climb just about done. We'll have the little descent, and then the steep part starts, and that's when things get really hard. Udebaya is still here, riding in the first dozen or so riders. They're looking a bit under pressure, and meanwhile Navarro is going to launch an attack, and that's not what Udebaya wanted to see. Navarro of Hackett, who's looked very good in the past couple of stages, making his first big attack over his rivals. Euskaltel is marking it with Wilmer Rodriguez. The little Colombian, a very important climbing domestique for Jean-Marie Caillou and Rico Rudiger. And already Rodriguez has to mark the moves. 6.5 Ks to climb, Lucci in the middle of that steep section. And his lead is down to 2.5 minutes. It's going to be hard for Lucci to survive now if these climbers keep on attacking. Navarro has set up a little bit. Here comes a Yun Batar of Valnor, setting the pace now for Chung Ling Shin. Ling Shin a bit far down in this group, just in front of the pink jersey. And another move here, Ilyana Pavlova this time. She's in 4th place overall, taking Kelvin Moore, Caillou, Toutain. Navarro's marking it as well. Pavlova in good position on the GC, and if they let her get away, she could really make some inroads and go for the race lead, but they're not going to let her do so. Navarro has countered. In fact, he's blown past Pavlova. And there's Lucci. Look how close it is now. Just a few seconds Lucci leads by now. Here comes Navarro. He's overhauled Rodolfo Lucci. Pavlova is leading the charge. Nello about to get up to her wheel. And no sign of the pink jersey. Udebaya has been dropped. There she is. A few kilometers too far for Josephine Udebaya. And I don't think she's going to keep that pink jersey now. So a lot to race for at the summit here. Navarro's still pushing. Lucci has cracked a brave ride by the Natalia rider, but 2 kilometers too far for Rodolfo Lucci. Nello's going to try and attack her on the flatter section now. 5 riders are going to sprint it out. One of the AlphaTauri men is still there. That's Sancho, I think. Ling Shin is there. Caillou has cracked the sprint on top of the mountain, and Luis Sancho is going to win a 2nd stage. Ling Shin right on his wheel, and Nello and Navarro losing just a handful of seconds. Here comes the Euskaltel duo. Caillou and Rudiger just 30 seconds back. Toutain losing some time. Pavlova faded at the end. There's Kelvin Moore losing about a minute or so. We'll have to see where Udebaya is. I think she's really cracked here. The mountain just a bit too tall for a big rider like her. Very strong on the flats. Better climber than she looks. But when the big climbers like Luis Sancho decide they want to go fast, nothing she can do about it. So she's lost over 3 minutes, and there will be a new leader in the Giro d'Italia, but the question is who? Because Toutain did not finish at the front of the race. About 45 seconds down, close to 10th place. So let's take a look at the order of the first 10 riders to cross the finish. Luis Sancho wins the stage. He won that group sprint inside the final kilometer, his 2nd stage win of the Giro d'Italia, and he will gain time and move up in the general classification. How much we don't know yet, but he is one ahead of Chung Ling Shin, who is right on his wheel in 2nd place. Very good result for the Valnor team leader. Carlos Nello of Sismic was 3rd, with Manuel Navarro 4th. They were 9 seconds behind. Jean-Marie Caillou and Rico Rudiger, both of Euskaltel Euskadi, were 30 seconds back in 5th and 6th. Toutain 7th place, 40 seconds down. And then a group of Ilyana Pavlova, Kelvin Moore, Yevgeny Balashkov, and Egon Kallas were 49 seconds back. The hero of the day was Rodolfo Lucci, but he only finished 12th, 1 minute 8 seconds back. And Josephine Udebaya losing over 3 minutes. Ibai Lida lost over 2 minutes as well, so his chances of a high finish starting to fade away. But let's see who the new leader is now, and it will be Luis Sancho of AlphaTauri by 2 seconds ahead of Manuel Navarro. Chung Ling Shin is 3rd, 5 seconds down. Carlos Nello up to 4th at 20 seconds. Hippolyte Toutain is down to 5th place at 29 seconds. but a time trial is coming up in a few days, so he is still in very good position. Jean-Marie Caillou in the frame in 6th place, 35 seconds back. Pavlova had a great opportunity to move up today, but just cracked in the final Ks, so she's down to 7th place. Udebaya drops from 1st to 8th. Kelvin Moore, her teammate, is 9th, and Yevgeny Balashkov rounds out the top 10 at 1 minute 9 seconds. Rudiger is 11th for Euskaltel Euskadi. Some of the lesser climbers starting to lose minutes instead of seconds as the mountains get harder. In the points classification, no change. Johnny Voucher still leads. We didn't see much of the sprinters at all today, but we'll see them again tomorrow. And in the mountains competition, Udebaya still leads, but Diana Stephenson and Luis Sancho have closed the gap. You see Luis Sancho scored a lot of points because Sestola was a Category 1 climb, so he is fast approaching the lead of Udebaya. But she's going to wear that jersey for a few more days, score some more points for Natalia. In the team classification, AlphaTauri is the new leader by 1 minute 21 seconds ahead of AlphaTauri. Valnor is now 3rd, Euskaltel Euskadi 4th, and Kyoto now 5th. So climbers have made their statement in the first 2 mountain stages. So far, Luis Sancho looking the strongest, but the time trial on stage 12 will be a big challenge for the little climber. In the meantime, we have a flat stage and a couple of hilly stages before that time trial. Sprinters will be back in action tomorrow. We'll see if anyone can challenge Johnny Vouchers for that Maglia Ciclamina. So thanks for watching as always. We'll see you next time.